Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We're going to talk about a lot, okay? I'm going to give you the 3 key moves that this Knicks team needs to do this offseason to make a splash this season. 3 moves, and honestly, one of these moves, I think, it's a blockbuster, and it might be possible. We'll also talk about Jason Kidd and the Knicks' pursuit from him and why Dallas declined it. We'll also talk about some of the other coaching news, other coaching candidates, right? There's a lot going on that front. We'll talk about the Roommates podcast, right? Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, they finally broke their silence. Of course, we got Smoke of the Week, Word on the Street, Comment of the Week, and much more on this episode of This Week Inside the Knicks. Welcome everyone to This Week Inside the Knicks. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you guys know the vibe, y'all. Welcome to episode 2 of the 2025 Offseason, right? We'll be covering all the news between June 9th to the 15th. I'm going to give a big salute to the people in the building early. I see you, Fritz, for the comment that you made earlier. I do appreciate it. Giving fans a platform. Yeah, indeed. This is what we do over here. Level-headed Knicks talk, man. And on Mondays, we get the information. We get it straight. I see you, J-Tap, in the building early, man. Salute to J-Tap in the building. Once again, sorry for my tardy start. Man, technical difficulties, personal things going on. But we here. The show got to continue, even if it's late. J-Tap, did they interview Jenkins? I'm not sure if it was today. It might have been today. I think they did say today. We'll get into that. And yeah, we'll talk about the coaching stuff. Let's see, level-headed this guy. Yep, definitely. Oh, well, you know what, J-Tap? You in the Discord server, so sometimes I go off the rails. We're going to be doing a show on Wednesday. I still don't have the exact time. It's more than likely it might be an after midnight show, but there's a good chance it'll be an afternoon show as well. All you got to do is just stay on the lookout in the live section. You'll see it. You'll get the notification once I schedule the show. But we definitely will be doing the show on Wednesday. I'm just not sure if it's going to be an afternoon or it will be an overnight joint. And basically what I'll be talking about is free agency. This will be a Knicks free agent guide. I'm going to do a presentation on the free agency so you guys know what to expect, because a lot of people are out there creating all these trade rumors that, the Knicks need to do this, the Knicks need to do that. And honestly, they don't understand how the free agency, platform or how things should go during free agency. So I'm going to give you guys, this will be the Knicks guide, okay, to free agency. I got that coming. And of course, we got the call-up show on Friday. Be sure to check out the last episode of the call-up show too. We actually, it was a really good show. We got to the bottom of a lot of the coaching stuff. I'm also optimistic, guys. I know I was jumping off the rails about the Giannis trade, but that ship has sailed, and I believe in the guys. I believe in Leon Rose. Let's go, New York. We're going to talk more about that as well, okay? Trying to think if there's any more announcements. Oh, my girls, the Lady Liberty, they took their first loss over the weekend to the Indiana Fever. We still riding with the Liberty. Big time salute to the Liberty. See, one thing about that game, and I know a lot of people don't care about injuries, but hey, our big girl Donquel Jones was out, right? Phoebus was out. She playing in the Olympics for her home country, so they caught her slacking. But we're gonna see Indiana again. No worries, no issues. All right. Trying to think if there's anything else. What did you talk about, J-Tap? Do you think the Knicks have a chance of landing Hanson Lang? I have no idea about Hanson Lang. I don't know about that. Salute to you, FS Wisdom. Caitlin Carver's going crazy. Yup, indeed. Now, let me jump into research mode. Now, this podcast... Oh, hold on. I got to make an adjustment. I thought I did this. This podcast is also tied to a weekly digest blog called thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. It's a place where I keep track of that. I'm, documenting the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. Give me 50 minutes, I give you the Knicks. So what I'm getting ready to pull up right now, we're going to be looking at all the news that took place during the time period that you see on the screen now. So just give me 2 seconds so I can make this adjustment behind the scenes to make sure everything is rolling. Okay? Make sure everything is rolling. And I'm going to get it on the screen now. Okay, cool. I think I got it. So we're going to transition. We're in research mode. Like I said, this is This Week Inside the Knicks.com. This is where I will be reading from, right? So if you guys are curious to know about all of the sources and all of the things that you see on the screen, you can go here, check it out. All you got to do is when you go to This Week Inside the Knicks.com, it'll take you on the home screen, right? And once you get to the home screen, you can either scroll down, bams, right here, Offseason episode 2, or you could go to the top and you could click on, oh, I don't got it at the top. I got to make that change. But going forward after today, you'll see it here at the top. It'll say 2025 offseason because that's where we in right now. Playoffs is over, offseason time, even though we do got that finals. By the way, Indiana, I think Indiana gets smacked tonight. I just want to put it on the record. Indiana's going to get blown out by 20, 30. I wouldn't be surprised if it's also 40. But I got Indiana getting smacked tonight. So this is where we are now. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. This week, no special highlights. So I'm going to just jump right into the Coach Kidd, Jason Kidd. Some stuff about the Jason Kidd. I'm going to try to give a brief timeline on Jason Kidd. So it all started like this. It all started like the Knicks, they had serious interest in landing Jason Kidd, right? And even some people thought that Jason Kidd was the favorite to actually land the Knicks job, right? This was early on in the search, right? A lot of intrigue, a lot of interest, right? Then this report came out that there's mutual interest between the Knicks and Jason Kidd, right? And so everybody was hyped. I mean, not everybody. Some people didn't want Kidd to be the coach. I wanted Jason Kidd to be the coach, right? Then they said in order for us to get Jason Kidd, we would have to surrender some draft picks, right? Future compensation, right? So now to make it even feel like it was going to be even more realistic that we could actually land Jason Kidd, right? So then this report came out, and this is when I felt like they were playing a game with us. Or not that they were playing a game, but I felt like even if they were to entertain the offer, this would be the reason why. The widely held belief is that Kidd ultimately is hoping to parlay the Knicks' interest into a lucrative contract extension. It remains to be seen how Kidd might respond if he doesn't get the desired extension, right? And there's a historical precedent where it comes to Kidd spurring the Mavericks for the Knicks. So I thought that would be the play for Jason Kidd because Billy Donovan just got his extension, right? Based off of the Knicks also wanting to circle back to talk to Billy Donovan. So this is what I thought it was going to be. I never thought that we had a realistic shot at getting Jason Kidd. I was very hopeful. And then this report came out, right, on June 11th, when the Knicks formally, and because the Knicks, they also delayed in formally asking the Mavericks if they can talk to Jason Kidd. So after they formally made the request, then this news came out, right? That the Post Stefan Bondi reported Tuesday that the expectation for the Mavericks would take such action, right? There was reports of mutual interest, right? And then multiple reports said Tuesday the Knicks request to speak to the Rockets coach. This was Ume Udoko, which they shut down, right? I'm gonna get to Udoko. Sorry if I'm butchering the man's name. I'll get to that in a second, right? But basically, the Dallas Mavericks, they shut down, right? And they said no, they will not give the Knicks permission to speak with the head coach. Once I seen that, a report came out that they were going to circle back, okay? And so now we're still waiting to see what happens with the circle back. We know Billy Donovan's got his extension, so there's no circling back to him. But that's the Jason Kidd saga. more than likely we won't get Jason Kidd. I mean, we'll keep an eye out to see if there's going to be any news on it next week. I doubt it at this point because Dallas looks like they're moving forward with their plans, and I do think that them acquiring Cooper Flagg is going to help keep Jason Kidd as a Dallas Maverick coach, right? Because it was looking kind of bleak with the whole Luka thing, but I think now that they got Cooper Flagg coming in, I think it reinvigorated the franchise, and I think it gives fans something to be happy about. And of course, front office, and of course, I think Jason Kidd is going to be happy to coach Cooper Flagg. So that's all for Jason Kidd saga. It's still kind of left open. We don't know what will happen. Let's see. I'm gonna move on and talk about some other coaching stuff, right? Meanwhile, if you did just join the show, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 2. Right, of the 2025 offseason. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, right, if you're not subscribed. Also, hit that like button, right? So that way more cool Knicks fans can see the video. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. So Knicks are in no rush to get a new coach, right? So they're taking their time. Why? Because they are the only show in town. And we know that there's a lot of, options. You got guys that were fired, right? And you also got guys who are assistant coaches. Of course, there's coaches of teams already, but no one's granting permission. No one's trying to lose their coaches right now. Let's see what you guys talking about in the chat before I move on. Does Leon Rose pick the assistants for the coach? Yes and no. Sometimes GMs would have assistants that they like for example, with the Knicks. They said that when Coach Tibbs first got the job, of course, he brought his entire staff, but Johnny Bryant was somebody that the front office put there. Mark Bryant would be an example of that last year. Mark Bryant was a hire from the front office. He's a big man coach. That wasn't Coach Tibbs hiring. Now, Mo Cheeks, I think Mo Cheeks might have been Tibbs' guy. Not 100% on Mo Cheeks, but it depends on the circumstance, right? The front office definitely may suggest different coaches they want for the job. But I do think that if you have a coach that is like esteemed or has experience, I don't think that, the front office will say otherwise. Okay. So let me keep it moving with this. So we know we got a wide net, right? We know that they reached out to a whole bunch of coaches like we spoke about, Ume Udoka, right? Billy Donovan. Let's see. Chris Finch, Atlanta's Quinn Snyder, right? And of course, Billy Donovan. We got all those rejections. We know that there's been a lot of rumored, interest in certain coaches like Johnny Bryant. No formal offers nor interviews went out. I think they said they were going to begin interviewing assistant coaches sometime this week or something like that. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that news. But more than likely, the Knicks do not get a coach that is going to be on another team, right? Let's see. See where else I want to go with this coaching stuff. It's a lot of news here. Like I said, I'm not going to read all this stuff. But Steve Kerr didn't get an offer. I wonder if that's because they just don't believe Steve Kerr is the right guy for the job. Or maybe there's some internal tension between those front office. But all the coaches that they interviewed, you would think that, Steve Kerr would get a holler, Maybe they figured they had no shot, but I don't know if they believe they had any shot at the other guys. I'm just saying, why don't you get one of the best coaches that's out there? I mean, well, a lot of people, there's conflicting thoughts on on Steve Kerr and how great of a coach he is, but I don't know. But there are some interesting candidates, and here's one that I was considering, Mike Woodson. We know that he was with the Knicks already back in 2013. I think up to 2015 or something like that. Basically, right before Phil Jackson got into the groove of his time as the GM here. Of course, Phil Jackson wanted to go with somebody who could run the triangle offense instead of going with Mike Woodson, the guy who had a really great season here in New York, taking this Knicks team 54 wins, second round. Still the most wins since 97, right? So Mike Woodson was the guy for the job. He did a great job. I think that was Donnie Walsh. He was the GM at the time who brought him in. He also came back to coach with Coach Tibbs. He was on his staff when he first came, and then he got the job at Indiana. And so Mike Woodson, to me, is an interesting name. I don't think he gets the job. I don't know if they're even considering interviewing him, but they got him as a wild card. I think that Mike Woodson is a good alternative of somebody who coached before. So, like, let's say the goal is to get a coach who coached before, and all your guys that are out there are not good candidates, or they're going to other. Well, there's no other team to go to, right? Well, I mean, maybe they'll take a college job. You never know, right? I think he's not a bad alternative. I still would rather have a Mike Woodson there over a Johnny Bryant or somebody new, right? Because I feel like he already coached in New York and already has success in New York. So I think that gives him a leg up over any other candidate, because we don't know how they'll do with this New York pressure. He definitely dealt with it before. He has a good relationship from what we've seen. When he left on good terms. It wasn't a negative situation, at least that from what we could see from the public standpoint. I say go get a guy like Mike Woodson, and I think that, hey, I wouldn't put him at the top of my list, but I would say go hire Mike instead of getting a new coach. What do you guys think about that? Let me plug in my laptop before it dies. Let me see. A couple of more coach stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of articles on coaches. I mean, I keep track of the entire timeline. So anytime you want to see what news is out there, every Monday I drop this weekly digest blog entry where you could go see everything that happened, all the news, right? So that's Mike Woodson. Then we also got this report that the Knicks are looking to interview Mike Brown, and they're looking to interview Taylor Jenkins. Now, once again, I'm not a fan of Mike Brown, but I would say this: he is somebody who coached, right? He's a champion, right? Guys like that, I think that you need to really strongly consider, taking a look at, right? Taylor Jenkins is a young guy, someone that has success in Memphis, right? So I don't have a problem with Taylor Jenkins, right? My only concern is he has success in the smaller market with less pressure. The pressure that you're going to see in Memphis is not going to be that New York pressure, right? How does he hold up to that? I think that's my concern. Outside of that, for me, the coaching is secondary. And I'm going to get into more of that a little bit later on the show when I get to flagship. But I don't think that none of the guys, I don't think there is a bad option at coach, right? I think that everyone has pros and cons, right? And I think that you're going to have to bring somebody that's going to be able to fit inside Leon Rose's vision, and also that's going to be able to deal with the players that we have here, because the players were instrumental in the dismissal of Coach Tibbs by saying in front of the owner, James Dolan, that Coach Tibbs is somebody I don't know if I can play for. That Coach Tibbs is stubborn and he's stuck in his ways. He's not willing to adapt, not willing to change, right? That he's overplaying us. So the player input and the player, satisfaction in terms of fitting in and being able to deal with this roster, I do think that this is not going to be one of those, I don't want to say normal hires. I'm going to say this is not going to be a hire where you get a team and now we're going to change the team to fit your style. They're going to need a coach that's going to be able to deal with this roster, right? And even if there's tweaks and changes, it's going to have to be to the benefit of the roster. So let me see if there's any other coach news I want to look at. This would be the last item on the coaching thing I'll touch on. But Mike Lupica from the Daily News writes, Knicks coaching search exposes lack of a plan post Tom Thibodeau. I disagree with that. I disagree with the lack of planning because, one, I really believe, based on the evidence that we have, right? And we got a lot of quotes, a lot of different sources. I mean, people saying all these different things. I think that Coach Tibbs was on the hot seat. And I don't think the Knicks wanted to fire Coach Tibbs right then and there. I do think that he was on the path of being let go, but I don't think that they wanted to fire him right then and there. When those players got in front of James Dolan and said those statements that I just made about, not feeling like they can play for him overplaying the guys, him not being able to make the right adjustments, right? So I truly do believe that that is the reason why he was let go. Once they made the decision to let Coach Tibbs go, that may not have been the original plan, right? But I do think that he has a plan. Now that Tibbs is gone, they of course they might have had to come up with something new, because maybe the plan wasn't to get rid of him right then and there. But to say that Leon Rose doesn't have a plan, I don't think that that's smart. Leon Rose has been brilliant. He's been one of the best GMs in basketball, if you ask me. I truly do believe that he has a plan, and I can't wait to get to the 3 moves that we need to make. Trust me, I'm going to get there, guys. By the way, if you just joined, okay, these are some of the topics we're going to be talking about. Of course, the flagship topic for today's podcast is the 3 moves that the Knicks need to make to have a successful all season, right? We already talked about Jason Kidd. We talked about the coaching search right now, and there's a lot more that I'm going to get into. So make sure you guys stay tuned, hit that like button, right? And make sure you guys get with it. And of course, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, right? And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. I will talk about the channel membership a little bit later. But let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Crimes Dad says, well, only way he gets any. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Crimes Dad. You must be in the conversation. J-Tap says, where's Yuri? We need him size 9. Hey, size 9, keep it nice. Keep it nice. Keep it respectful. I heard it got a little out of hand. Mods, stay on top of that. If you see any craziness, time them out. Crimes that, trust me, it upsets me, but I see it for sure. No way they finish first, let alone the Knicks in the playoff series. Okay. Jenkins had to deal with Morant. I think he'll be all right. Okay. You missed the Bane trade, J-Tap. The fact that they were all injured last year. Oh yeah. By the way, I think the Magic, strong candidate for me to be the first seed in the East. If the Knicks, if we don't really do something to really improve where we were, I think the Magic will be the first seed in the East. I love the Desmond Bane trade. That backcourt with Suggs and Bane is so. First off, that starting 5 is crazy. Suggs, big point guard. Bane, solid, big guard in terms of like strength and size. Then you got those big forwards and Ben Caro and Franz Wagner. And then they got the big guy, Wendell Carter from Duke. Salute to the Duke Blue Devils on the low. I know this is a Knicks show. But, the Orlando Magic, they're going to be a problem. Now they got a starting 5 of guys that, Franz Wagner might be a little bit of a liability on defense, on the perimeter. I wouldn't say Franz Wagner is a good defender on the perimeter, but Bane and those guys, they can carry the slack. The Magic are going to be a problem. That trade, and also like when I do my because on Wednesday we're going to do a Knicks guide to the offseason show where I'm gonna give you guys all the information so that way you guys know what to expect. But the Magic did something very slick. They made a move before they became an apron team to get them to the point where they can make that trade. So we'll talk more about that. I heard enough. Orlando's not going to finish first. Okay, the regular season. Oh, okay, got it. Because you still believe in the regular season champions. Well, the one problem that Cleveland's going to have, J-Tap, they're getting ready to lose Ty Jerome. They're getting ready to lose... unless they make a trade. Now, Cleveland could make a trade technically within the next couple of days to try to make a move before that second apron becomes locked in. So maybe Cleveland has another move in them to really shake things up. But if they don't make that move, it's looking like they're going to lose Ty Jerome and they're going to lose Sam Merrill, right? And Jarius Garland's going to miss the first 5 months of, well, he's going to be out for 5 months now. So he'll probably miss the first month or two of the season. So now you're going to be starting the season with it's going to be a completely different look for Cleveland. I think Cleveland still be a good team. I just don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. Right. But this is, like I said, this is pre-moves. Cleveland could make a move and then bam. All right. So let me move forward. Where was I at? I just talked about coaching, right? Okay, cool. So we moving past coaching. Now I'm going to get into some free agent stuff, right? All right. So in terms of Knicks free agents, let's see. The best offseason moves could already be on the roster. I agree with that. The Knicks, you know what? Let's pull up the roster. I'm going to say this, guys. The young guys that we got, I think they definitely deserve a shot. Especially it depends on what trades the Knicks make, or if the Knicks make trades, or if the Knicks make moves. I do think that where we are in terms of our young guys, I think some of those guys deserve a shot to try to make the rotation. Now, once again, I didn't mean to put trade. Now, once again, we don't know what new coach we're going to get. One thing I can say, I think whatever coach we get, they're going to use the bench because they ain't trying to get fired. That's one thing that I think, we all could agree in terms of expectations of this next coach. I hate looking at it like this. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I hate looking at the basketball, the sports track like that. Hold on. Let me put the year in and see if I get the year view. Because that view is just not, okay, this is a good view. So we're going to look at the salary, right? Let me just change the year to make sure it's 25, 26. Okay, cool. So look, right now you only got 11 players, right? 2 of those players have team options, right? Now you got Ariel Hukporti, right? I think he needs time, especially if you get an injury to Mitch and Towns. We don't know if there's going to be a trade, but until there's a trade, this is what we're dealing with right now, right? And then you got Tyler Kolek, right, with Deuce McBride. That'll be your backup guards right now because nobody else is under contract. And even Pacome Dadier, 6'8", I think those guys deserve. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get the topics out your way so you can see. I think those guys deserve to get time because right now they're all you got, right? And then you're looking at $8 million in space if they want to stay under the second apron. Now they're not locked at the first apron like they were last year, but let's see what happens. Let's see what moves they make because they can make a trade and depending on what they trade, they could be locked again at the first apron, or maybe Leon Rose doesn't see any desire to spend more money. But these are our cap holes as well. Precious Achiuwa is a big major cap hole. We'll see what happens with him. Does he leave? I don't know. But I really do think that on the roster, you may have two guys on your bench and Kolek and Ariel or Pacome Dadier. You just never know what his development could be. He was only 18 years old, right? Of course, Kevin McCullough Jr., even though he's not under contract, he was in a 2-way contract. Maybe he gets a veteran minimum. Maybe he gets a minimum deal, right? And you bring him in, and maybe he turns out to be something. I think he's 6'7", 6'8". So you may already have what you need on your bench, right? But it's up to the new coach to give them a shot. And that remains to be seen who the new coach will be. But I think it's safe to assume that the new coach will play the bench. Now, here's another aspect of free agency that not too many people are talking about. Knicks must make the impossible Mitchell Robinson decision before he plays another game. Mitchell Robinson's actually due for an extension. If we could go back to Sports Track and pull up Mitchell Robinson really quick. So Mitchell Robinson, this is the last year of the 4-year, $60 million deal that he initially signed. Of course, he's an unrestricted free agent. Do you guys give Mitchell Robinson the contract? Going forward in the weekly surveys or the daily surveys I do, I'm going to start asking questions about each one of these guys because not only does Mikal Bridges we have a decision to make with him, we also have a decision to make with Mitchell Robinson. Right now, I don't really know what I would suggest the Knicks do because there's just too much mystery in terms of what do we have on this team, right? A lot of rumors. I mean, I don't know if some of these guys make it to next season, but that's one decision. Landry Shamet's another decision, right? Do we bring Landry Shamet back? He had a really good season for us, you know, even though he didn't play in a lot of time. He missed half the season with the dislocated shoulder. 6'4", can shoot the ball. That shooting, I mean, shooting is definitely a value in this league. You know, what do you do with Landry Shamet? Depending on the moves he make, I don't really know. Depends on who you get in the trade, right? Depends on how you shape your roster. Do you flip one of your starters from last year to get multiple pieces, right? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Landry Shamet, right? Of course, PJ Tucker says he's not done playing, but there's no guarantees PJ Tucker will be with the New York Knicks because he's under a club option, team option, $3.4 million, right? The Knicks do not have to pick up this option. Now, I can't remember when the deadline is. I will have all that information on Wednesday, though. Let's see. Okay, so club option deadline. Oh, so June 29th. So they got to make a decision on PJ Tucker by the 29th, okay? And it's also a partially guaranteed contract as well. So even if they pick up the option, they could let him go by the 10th of 2026, January 10th of 2026, okay? So that's the deadline for Tucker. So we'll get a decision within the next couple of weeks of what they'll do with PJ Tucker. If I'm Leon Rose, knowing him, they'll probably wait a while. And if there's a pending trade, then PJ Tucker's salary can be used in a trade as well. So there's a lot to consider here, a lot to unpack. But PJ Tucker said that he is not done, right? Never have I mentioned retirement or given any indication that may be a thing. I am 40 years young. Salute to the 40-year-olds, man. Let's go, man. I'm riding with that, man. It ain't over. Man, you trying to push us out the league. Okay? I'm 40 years young, right? 100% healthy, able, and will continue to play the game I dedicated my life to. Stay hooping, y'all. Never stop hooping, man. I'm never going to hoop. My goal is to be the 7-year-old guy out there just shooting jump shots, man. Salute to PJ, man. I'm riding with PJ. Will he be a Knick? I don't know. Let's see. And, of course, Karl Anthony Towns could sign an extension as well. He's eligible to sign a 2-year, $149 million extension. That's a lot of money. That's like, what, 74 point something per year? Wow. Let's look at Towns' contract. So this is a lot of the decisions that Leon Rose is going to have to make, right? Now, we don't have to necessarily sign Towns this summer, right? Because he still has 2 more years on his deal, but he's eligible to sign it, okay? He's eligible to sign it. But yeah, look what he still has 3 years on 2 years on his deal because this year is a player option. This is why, even though it's 3 years, technically, if he opts into this deal, which I don't think, it depends on where the Knicks are. Will he even be a Knick? I don't know. Bottom line is that additional 2 years would come more than likely. It'll replace this player option. So that $75 million will take place in 27-28. So yeah, so that's some more decisions. So Leon Rose, he has some decisions to make, right? Of course, Mikal Bridges. I think we're going to talk about Mikal Bridges a little bit. He's also in the same boat as Mitchell Robinson, right? This is the last year on his deal. A lot of trade rumors with Mikal Bridges. Nothing, of course, nothing from like an inside type of scenario where no one knows if Mikal is on the block. Nothing like that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let me see. PJ can go play at the Rucker. Damn, J-Tap, that's cold. FS Wisdom, I would make PJ an assistant coach. Well, remember, PJ doesn't want to coach. He said he's still playing. He's still hooping. Salute to Nick P. How can we hire Brunson and Cat on defense for the long haul? That's a good question. And that's definitely a question the next coach will have to answer. But I will say this, and I'm going to get to my 3 moves later. And I'm going to let you guys know that my 3 moves does not include a Jalen Brunson or Cat trade, right? So the moves still have those guys as your main guys. But when you guys see my moves, hopefully that answer your question. But one thing I could also say, maybe a zone defense. This will be Chance 2526. Salute to you, sir. Right? One of the first channel mods, channel member, and NXT Madness Discord server. He says Orlando Magic made the move they needed. My question is, how long will it take before Orlando gets criticized for giving up 4 picks for Bane, the way the Knicks get criticized for trading for Mikal? Here's the thing about Orlando, Knicks will be champs. Small market team, right? They don't got the same pressure we got in New York. No one's going to talk about it. Listen, Knicks will be champs. No one's going to be talking about that. Their media is going to eat it up. They love the move. Everyone's happy in that organization. They capped at that first apron. They can't go beyond it. I mean, Orlando, they made that was one of the best moves thus far. And I think that will hold as one of the best moves in the offseason. I don't think it's going to be the only move, but I think that he fits what Orlando needs. He can shoot the ball. He's a really good on-the-ball defender. You put him with Suggs, those guys are a nightmare backcourt to deal with. Tough, rugged. Man, Orlando, to me, I think that they, right now, of course, a lot can change, but I got them as the number 1 seed in the East. So I'm going to keep it real. I think this move prematurely puts them there because as long as they stay healthy, you're going to have to deal with those guys. All right. Let me keep it moving. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of KD stuff. I'm not reading all of this KD stuff. They talking about Giannis on the 10th. Giannis, that ship is sell. We talked about Giannis last week. I'm not talking about Giannis. The one thing I want to talk about with the whole KD news, if you want to read the whole saga, the KD saga, like I said, go to thisweekinsidethenix.com. I got it all listed there. I don't care to get into it now. But this is the main report for me, okay, that I want to talk about. Stephon Bondi of the New York Post first reported earlier this week that the Knicks are not actively pursuing Durant. I've been skeptical of the New York's involvement all along, or skeptical more specifically that the Knicks could construct a deal for Durant that makes sense. Facts, right? And so Stephon Bondi, he was the first to report it, but the way it's looking right now is not going to go through. And one, the trade package is just ridiculous. And the Phoenix Suns also dismissed that they don't want Towns. They got Zubac and who they said they got. They said they got they said they got their big men already. They don't want to change up. Not Zubac. They had Nick Richards, right? Either way, they got their big man. They don't want to make the change. No problem. I don't think the Knicks was trying to give you Towns anyway, but Towns would have been probably the only move. Now, what you would have had to do was do a 3-team deal, right? Where Towns would go to the Suns. I'm trying to think how it would work. Towns goes to the Suns. Those other guys go to the Suns. Towns goes to the other team, and then Kevin Durant comes to the Knicks. That would have been the only way to do the deal. Well, if they didn't want Towns. So you would have had to find something else they didn't want. But more than likely, they're not pursuing. The Knicks are not, according to Stephon Bondi, they're not looking to get Durant. All right. There's more there. I'm not getting to all that Durant stuff. I could care less about all the Durant stuff. But I just want to show you that Stephon Bondi, he now thinks that the Knicks are not pursuing him. I'm going to jump into some of these hot topics. Okay. Now, Mikal Bridges, I kind of was like highlighting him earlier. Should the Knicks keep Mikal Bridges? Bridges will be eligible for an extension starting on July 6th. So here's his max, right? And I'm gonna give a salute to Coach Tibbs because Coach Tibbs played him all those minutes, right? And Mikal's max would have been, I think, $100 million more had he made the All-NBA defensive team or made an All-NBA team or something like that. because I think that was the issue with Jaren Jackson. No, I don't think the defensive team matters. I think it was the NBA team. So Mikal Bridges, because he's not an All-NBA teamer, this is his max, 4-year, 156, right? And so they have until June 30th, right, to do so, right? And as far as Mikal Bridges is concerned, I don't know if Leon Rose wants to give him that 156. I don't know. It's hard to say he's not worth the 4-year 156 when you see guys starters getting paid. Emmanuel quickly got the 5-year 175. He never made nothing. Never was a 6-man, never was nothing. So it's hard when you look at the CBA and the contracts that players are getting to say that Mikal doesn't deserve 4-year 156. But that'll put him at what? Just under $40 million a year. I don't know. So I do think the Julius Randle effect happens here, where if they don't agree on the extension, I could see that Mikal might be up out of here. I could see that happening the same way Randle was gone. A lot of you guys, y'all might like Mikal. You may not like Mikal. I think that if they can't agree on the number, I expect him in the trade. I expect personally. Now, once again, I don't got no insider sources. No one's saying Mikal Bridges is on the block. But I'm just telling you, because I said the same thing with Randle. We called the Julius Randle, right? When he ain't signed that extension, I said, yo, trade is imminent, right? Now, we didn't think it would be Towns, right? We didn't think it would be right before the season started either. But, once again, too, the Mikal Bridges trade doesn't have to be over the summer either. It could go into, the trade deadline, right? When you want to see if there's more things available, more things out there, you see how the season's going. Teams may be more willing to come up off of guys that's just not working. So, there's a lot that goes there. But I will say that if Mikal does not sign this summer, it could be imminent. Okay? It could be imminent. I'm just saying. I don't know. But it just, based on the history of Rose, and when guys wasn't able to get deals done, they get up out of here. And Rose will not hesitate to get you up out of here. Right? Now, if that is not the number, what number would you want to give Mikal? What, 4 years, 120? 4 years, 125? I do think he should be in the $30 million range, right? No? I don't know. I feel like that's the going rate for players of his caliber. Not quite all-stars, right? Starters. He's durable. He's going to give you all 82 games. You know what you're going to get out of him. I don't know. It's a good question. It's not, thank God I'm not the GM. Coach Tibbs, he broke his silence, right? He put out a billboard, right? And let's read it. So Coach Tibbs had this to say. He took out an ad himself in the New York Times. Coach Tibbs said, "Thank you to the best city in the world." Salute to New York City, man. Salute to Coach Tibbs. Thank you to the best city in the world with the best fans in the world. Oh, man, we are honored. When I was hired in 2020, I said this was my dream job. I'm grateful for that dream to become a reality. Thank you to our players and coaching staff who gave everything they had, and to everyone who makes this franchise special. I'm proud of everything we accomplished together, including 4 playoff appearances and this year's run to the Eastern Conference Finals. By the way, the first time in 25 years, like Coach Tibbs said. And to the fans, thank you for believing in me and embracing me from day one. Watching you support our team and seeing the Garden ignite with the incomparable Knicks energy is something I will never forget, with gratitude and respect. Salute to Coach Tibbs, man. Coach Tibbs is the fifth best coach in Knicks history. Period. The only reason why I can't put him ahead of Riley and Jeff Van Gundy is because they went to the finals. Also, they weren't fired, right? Coach Tibbs, they unfortunately fired him because the players, they wasn't rocking with him. But one thing, and a couple of people pointed this out, he didn't thank his homie, Leon Rose. He didn't thank his peoples, his man, his agent for many years. He did not thank him in the thank you. He did not thank the front office. He thanked the coaching staff. He even thanked the players. The same ones that threw him over onto the bus. But maybe that wasn't for everyone. Maybe that was just for select players. I don't know. But it was the players that got him fired, right? Yeah. So it makes me think that some of the speculation is correct, that he had issues with the front office and they weren't seeing eye to eye for a while. Because for him to not add them to the apology, to the thank you, it lets me know that there was some tension there, because that was his man's, and he helped. First off, he brought him to New York, right? And Coach Tibbs, I think he will be missed, especially if we don't win. If we don't win, people going to be like, you see? I'm going to get to that in Smoke of the Week. Yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit of that smoke. But anyway, Coach Tibbs, I really wish that we would have beat Indiana so he could have got another crack at it, because I personally believe that he could have took us to the championship, right? I just feel like he wasn't filling the roster that Leon Rose gave him. And that possibly is where the dissension was. But I think that Coach Tibbs is an accomplished coach. He took us out of the doldrums. He's been the best coach we had since Jeff Van Gundy. That goes back, 20-something years. For him to get fired, there's some stuff there, man, that we will never know, right? Or maybe we got to wait 10 years for the book to come out where, they talk about these things. But will Coach Tibbs be one of the Knicks alumni that's in the Garden? I don't know. But he deserves to be there. 5th best coach in Knicks history. 4th in wins. 500 playoff record with the Knicks. I think the man deserves his props. So thank you, Coach Tibbs, for serving as our coach and taking us out the doldrums, man. I applaud you even if nobody else will. Let's see. And this would be my last join. Then I'll probably jump into flagship after this. So, Gil's Arena, on Gil's Arena podcast, or show, it's not a podcast, but it's a show, a YouTube show, live show. He gave an interesting perspective that I heard other people say as well. He gave a theory. He said that he called it a smart strategy to lay the groundwork for Jalen Brunson's father, Rick Brunson, to be the next coach. Right? Your coach is right here. He said, father, but you can't just give him the job. So what you're doing is you're offering the job to a lot of people that already have a job, knowing what the answer is, right? And he said, so you're pretending for the world that you're actually looking for a new coach, and then you're going to settle for Rick. Right? We couldn't find everybody, so now we're just going to go with Rick. Is that what Leon Rose is doing? I doubt it. I really think that they are looking at a lot of different people to see who could actually take this roster to the next level. So, but what do you guys think about that theory from Gil? I don't think that's the truth. And I don't think Rick Brunson is going to be the coach, because there were some other reports, and I got to find it, where there were players, or there were people that saying that players were not too fond of Rick Brunson either. So I'm like, damn, if that's the case, if Jalen Brunson's teammates is not feeling his dad, captain, what are we doing? You the star player. You supposed to snap your fingers. I need him off my roster. This is my pops. He ain't going nowhere. But Brunson holds no weight. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat before I move on. So we talking about Orlando. Let's see. I pay Cat, keep Bridges, J-Tap. I guess you got no choice. I think that if the money works out where both sides can agree, I don't mind bringing Bridges back, but we're going to talk about my 3 moves next, okay? Orlando plays as a team. Knicks don't know how to maybe under a new coach. Crimes dad, hopefully. That's what we're hoping for. FS Wisdom said the reason why Orlando... Okay, I read that. No, I didn't read that. The reason why Orlando didn't go this far this season was because they were riddled with injuries. Facts. They were the 3rd seed. Orlando was playing great ball, and they're really good at home. I wouldn't be surprised if next season they're unbeatable at home. Salute the Beeman Boys. I see you in the house, channel member. Let's go. I'm not sure if you're in the Discord server, Beeman Boys, but if not, you need to get in there. What's up, everyone? What did I miss? Knicks will be champs. 25-26 says, don't forget. Oh, wow. Okay, Knicks will be 26 champs. But you didn't have to change your name, Nick will be champs. You could have kept it 25-26 because it's the same year, 25 and 26. Forget about KD. Knicks are contenders, not pretenders. That's a fact. Beamer Boys, we was using Mikal, right, though? Nah, I don't think we was using Mikal to his full potential on both sides of the ball. It's 70-30 on Mikal getting traded. I agree. I think that there's a good chance Mikal could get traded. So what's the goal for the next coach coming? How high is the bar set? Beeman Boys, championship. I'm the only one. This is me. Nobody else. Leon Rose, I love Leon Rose, but he is on the hot seat. He is on the hot seat for me. Because he said our singular focus is the championship. So that's what I expect to see. Okay. Now, before I jump into the flagship topic, which is the 3 moves, I do want to show you guys the shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Man, listen, man. We still got Bodega Cat, right? We still got Captain 11. They're not going anywhere. So the merch is here to stay forever, man. Listen, go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com or shop.theobjectivefan. Doesn't matter. Say it's going to take you to the same website. We got the Bodega Cat mugs. Everybody loves the mugs. The mugs are fire. Go get yourself a mug, man. Bodega Cat. Celebrate, our all-stars, our superstar. I even got a This Week Inside the NYK mug, man, for the podcast, man. Go get yourself a mug so when you listening to the shows, you could drink from the mug. And it is just enhance the spirit experience, man. When you drink from these mugs, I got my monochrome Captain 11 right here on the shelf right here. Bam, right? I got the Bodega Cat joint I got to get next. That's coming. But everybody loves the white one as well. This is fire. Look at that. You got the New York skyline inside the words, the lettering. Man, yo, listen, man. All you got to do is go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. We got T-shirts. It's summertime now. We got them in different colors, right? We got it in white, right? Captain 11 joint, same thing. Captain 11 in black. Definitely take the time, support the channel. Check out shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. So now let me move forward. I'm going to go touch on. Oh, yeah. You know what? I should touch on the Roommates podcast. Let me touch on the Roommates podcast. Then we'll get into flagship. Okay. So Roommates podcast, right? Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, they responded to Coach Tibbs firing. And of course, they had nothing but positive things to say, right, about Coach Tibbs. So I think we had a really good year. I think it didn't end how we wanted to end. Sometimes when the season doesn't go how you want it or how you expect it or how you expected it to, there's always changes, Josh Hart said, right? Whether that's coaches, players. Tibbs was my 6th coach in 8 years. So Josh Hart, he is accustomed to changing coaches. Now, the energy I got from watching the pod, right? Of course, they're not going to give you much because it's a politically correct show, and that's fine. They're NBA players on the contract. We can't expect them to go off the rails for our entertainment, okay? But I will say this. Josh Hart joked about oh yeah, I think right now anybody want to trade me for anything. He joked. I can't remember what he compared himself to. Hold on, do I got the notes here? Damn, where I did with the notes? I got it written down somewhere. He joked that they compared him. They would trade him for like a bag of chips or something like that. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where my notes is at. I had it somewhere. It's gone. Anyway, and I think Josh Hart might believe he might get traded. I really think that they know that certain moves will be made. And because Dante DiVincenzo was traded last season, all that Nova Boy stuff holds no weight. First of all, Brunson holds no weight. So Brunson's not going to stop nobody from getting traded. Okay? Anybody can go. That's my motto. Anybody can go, but not everyone for one person. That we're not doing that no more. Them days is over. But anyone can go in the deal. Okay? The NBA coaching profession is tough. Whenever you don't finish how you wanted it or expected it, there's always going to be changes. That one is a tough one. I just think there should be nothing but praise for him in New York. That's what Josh Hart said. I agree. I think that Coach Tibbs deserves way more praise. I'm not going to say nothing but praise because, yeah, we're going to criticize some of the moves that he made, the bonehead moves that he made. But I do agree that he deserves way more praise than the teardown that people are giving him, right? Let me see. So then, Thibodeau, da-da-da-da. All right, after the Knicks were eliminated 6 games, right? So, yeah, okay, cool. So, after the Knicks was eliminated in 6 games, right? This is why I did that unfiltered thought, by the way. Brunson holds no weight. Is that a real question right now? You just asked me if I believe in this guy? Come on. He said, Brunson said at the time, he said, yes, come on, that he believes in Brunson, in Coach Tibbs. But any other star player who loves his coach would throw his weight around. Nah, you ain't letting my coach go. So, salute to the kid from Coney, my man C.I. from the Call Up Show. He said that he knows some people that speculated that maybe they might have been an incident with Rick Brunson and Tibbs. And maybe that's why Brunson was like, hey, he got to go. But in public, he's acting like that's my man's. Brunson said, this is my first firing, right? Obviously, I've known him my entire life. But I remember having conversations and moments with him in the 8th grade when we moved to Chicago. And just to see where we are now, it helped me become a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, right? The things he's done for me individually, I'm grateful for just because he had the confidence in me that I knew I had. But like, it's great seeing someone push me to be better. Obviously, I have my dad and he believes in me more than anyone. Him and my mom believe in me more than anyone. To have Tibbs to do what he did for my career, I'm just grateful and thankful for. Not enough things can be said about what he's meant to myself and my career. Now, all these things, right? All these things can be true. All these things can be true. But it doesn't replace whether or not he signed off on the firing. I love Tibbs. He helped me get to where I got to go, but he got to get up out of here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you, hey, this is what was said, and I'm just making my own. I'm putting my 2 and 2 together, man. He also says the landscape of this team, this organization has changed, obviously, with Tibbs being gone. Oh, this was Hart said. We wanted to give shout outs to Tibbs, especially for myself. He helped make me into the player that I am. And I had a lot of instability in the early part of my career. And he kind of gave me this ability, that opportunity to flourish as a player in the league, as a starter in the league. I'm always forever going to be grateful for him. Man. There's more, but you could read the rest in the article. I don't want to read the whole thing. Roommates podcast respond. If you want to see this and more of the quotes from the pod, you could listen to the pod, but I also got it here too. Just all the quotes are here. Everything they said. And that'll be under the Roommates Podcast comments on Coach Tibbs. I guess my final thought on this is just, if this is your man and you're the star player, you're supposed to have pull. Like, we know in Denver that Jokic had issues with Malone, right? He was rumored to have issues with Malone, and that's why Malone had to go. You usually, when guys are on good terms, you don't really see that. Let me keep it moving, man. So I'm gonna give you my 3 keys to the offseason, okay? Give you my 3 keys to the offseason. Hopefully, yeah, okay, I got that here. Oof, notes all over the place, guys. Bam, I'll be good, okay? So my first key has to do with coaching. Now, hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So my first key has to do with coaching. We need a coach that could bring the most out of the stars. Now, some of you guys are going to know, I am somebody who wants a superstar. I gave you my reasons why. I got the unfiltered thought. I broke it down for you guys. We went back to 1958. You don't have a team winning a championship except one, the Detroit Pistons. The Indiana Pacers is going to get cooked tonight. So let's not even worry about this year. In the history of NBA, only one team has won a championship without a first teamer or All-NBA. All-NBA first teamer or MVP. Facts. You can't debate it. We went through history. You're going to lose the debate if you want to debate that point, right? Oh, it's a new day. No, it's not. Last year, Jason Tatum, 5-time first teamer. Year before that, Jokic, 3-time MVP, multiple-time first teamer. Year before that, Steph Curry, greatest point guard all times. Year before that, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy who I wanted us to get. All of the champions have first teamers and All-NBAs. Now, what does that mean for the Knicks? The Giannis Antetokounmpo ship has sailed. It's out of here. It's gone, right? There has been coaching changes in NBA history that has yielded championships. By the way, this is the New York Post, and if you got the Sports Plus, it's worth it if you into reading your news. Okay, so here's some of the changes that led to championships. Of course, we got the Lakers in 1920, right? This is when Frank Vogel took over for Luke Walton, right? But notice the common theme of what I told you. Then in 2018, 2019, we know Nick Nurse, right? He replaced Dwayne Casey, who was a damn good coach, by the way. And they won the championship, right? 2015, LeBron, of course, Ty Lue. Okay. 2014, 2015, Golden State Warriors, okay? Now, this is when Steve Kerr took over for Mark Jackson. Now, in order for this to be us, one, we're different from all of these teams because the Warriors, they had Steph Curry, right? Talked about that. The Cavaliers had LeBron, okay? We don't got a LeBron. Raptors had Kawhi Leonard, multiple-time first teamer. We don't got that, okay? And then, of course, this Laker team had LeBron. We didn't. So if this is going to work for us, right? If this coaching change is going to work for us, we need a coach that's going to get either Towns or Brunson to a first team MVP level. It's the only way you're going to win, right? My only caveat argument against myself, I put there purposely because I am, even though I'm the objective fan, I am an optimistic Knicks fan, right? Even though I'm probably a little less optimistic because I feel like now the pressure's on for us to really jump the gun and make that next move, right? And so we'll see what Leon Rose does. However, based on what you have now, you have 2 All-NBA teamers. If you can get one of those guys to the first team, forget MVP. That's going to be pretty much impossible. Oh, nothing is impossible, right? Stranger things has happened. I think the next level for Brunson looks like double-double guy. If you can get somebody to get him, even if his scoring drops a little bit, let's say he goes from 26 to 24, right? 23, but he gets his assists close to 10, 9, 10. And the team is also thriving and successful, because I got the stat here. Hold on. I got the stat here. You know, this is my last year's stats right here, right? So anytime Jalen Brunson had 9 or more assists, the Knicks had a record of they were 15-6. 15-6 anytime Jalen Brunson had 9 or more assists. So when he's moving the ball and he's getting guys involved, yes, the Knicks are a pretty damn good team. You take that with the team getting some chemistry, even though I don't know how chemistry will look under a new coach. But let's say these guys, they still know each other, so that's going to matter for a particular reason. You activate that mode in Jalen Brunson, and maybe then we'll see what happens. But you're going to need first-teamer caliber production. Also, Jalen Brunson should have been a first-teamer last season. He was averaging 29 and 6 or 7, right? And really was just MVP level caliber season. You know, the Knicks had all of those injuries. I think Brunson's the guy to do it. Now, Towns could also do it. He's a center, right? Not a lot of competition at the 5 spot. It's really just him, Jokic. We don't really know how Embiid's going to look. Then, of course, you got the Sabonis's and those guys out there. But for the most part, Towns, especially on the offensive side, he's behind Jokic, right? Jokic is the cream of the crop. I put Towns right behind him. Unless Embiid, makes a transformation and, which is possible. I mean, I know a lot of us don't believe in Embiid, Yuri, but it's still a possibility that Embiid could turn up. We know what Embiid was. But Towns, even if Embiid shows out, Towns still, to me, is the third best center. Or unless Wemby, can't forget Wemby might take another leap too, right? He's definitely there. Either way, Towns is top 3, top 4 center. Top 2, right? Within that range, depending on how those other guys perform. Maybe you get Towns to an All-NBA first team level. To me, what that looks like for him, he already was giving you 24-13, right? What if the next coach makes him the first option? Now we get that up to 27, 13, 4 or 5 assists. I think that could elevate him possibly to a first team. Because remember, you got the 65 game limit and all those things there. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So that's where I'm looking at. I'm looking at Brunson or Towns getting to that first team level. Brunson is right there. He should have been there. He's right there. We need that coach. I don't know who that coach is. We need that coach to get Brunson to that level. That's what's needed to win in this league. I'm sorry the league is not different. You guys think Indiana's going to change it? They're not. They're about to get cooked. I got it on the record. And I'll eat my crow if they don't. But they're going to get cooked. But here's the thing. Even if Indiana does win, bam, Indiana wins. It still doesn't change the fact that it only happened twice in NBA history. Still an aberration. Doesn't mean it's going to change and trend. No. You need those guys to win. Okay? So that's my first move. Not only do we need a coach, we need a coach that's going to be able to deal with this roster and get our guys, our stars, to that next level. That's going to cater to our stars. Right? So the second move I want to see the Knicks do, right? And hold on. The second move I want to see the Knicks do is get a ball handling point guard or shooting guard. Don't matter. They need another ball handling guard, preferably somebody who could play defense too, right? Now, there's multiple ways to get these guards. Free agencies there, these are some of the top 2 guards. Malik Beasley, I want to say he's the greatest ball handler, but he is a bona fide scorer. We've seen what he did in Detroit. Now, the only problem is I think that Detroit is going to bring him back, and he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. So you're not going to be able to get him. You're not going to get Cam Thomas. Definitely not getting Ty Jerome, but Ty Jerome would be perfect. Ty Jerome would be perfect. Now, if you really wanted Ty Jerome, you could do a sign and trade with the Cavs, technically, because the Cavs, well, I think they do become a second April team. I'm going to talk more about Abrams on Wednesday, but there's some technicalities with the Cavs deal because they technically second April. It'll make the deal a lot harder. But you could try to do a sign and trade for a guy like this. You got this kid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Once again, he's going to get paid, but sign and trades. Do you go get this kid? I like him. He's 6'5". He can play defense, right? He probably would. I mean, he's making 4.3, and maybe he'll go up to like 15, right? And you could work with a sign and trade with a $15 million, salary, right? Caris LeVert, I like LeVert. Now, once again, he earned $16 million. So you would have to more than likely do a sign and trade. No, not more than likely. You would have to do a sign and trade, right? So sign and trades we can do, right? Hold on. It depends. Some sign and trades we can do. Quentin Grimes is another one. Depends. Some sign and trades we can do. I think if it's over the mid-level exception, something like that. So yeah, sign and trades will be difficult. But I'm just showing you who's out there either way, okay? Just show. Now, Gary Trent Jr. is a guy, once again, I wouldn't say he's the greatest ball handler, but he can create his own shot. Also, I wouldn't say he's a point guard. I think he's more of just a combo guard based on what I've seen. But he's somebody you might could get for the exception, depending on what salaries is throwing at him. He was a veteran minimum last season, so you never know. Now this kid right here, Duke Blue Devils, he was actually playing point guard. Luke Kennard, Memphis Grizzlies, somebody I may also consider. Definitely he was playing the point guard position. The only problem with Luke Kennard is the salary. I think he's going to get paid. And also, he's not a good defender. Keon Ellis restricted, no. Tim Hardaway, you could get him for, did he play himself into a big contract? I don't know. Detroit might keep these guys. We don't know what Detroit's going to do. Now, this is somebody that was mentioned on the caller show. I can't remember who brought him up. But Amir Coffey is another guy. Good defender. I just don't know if he's the ball handler that we would need. Bruce Brown, you definitely could get Bruce Brown for the low. He played point guard in Denver, but he kind of fell off the map. I don't know about Bruce Brown. And Sam Merrill's there, but I think Sam Merrill might get paid. Well, he might be a mid-level dude. But he don't play no defense. Gary Payne Jr., I think he going to get paid. So I'm not even going to look at him. Kevin Porter. How you guys feel about Kevin Porter? I'm just giving you some options, right? These are not the only options. These are some options that might not cost us a lot that we might could sign. I think you could get Kevin Porter for the most and mid-level. I don't think he's going to be worth more than that. He is kind of like a Chuck, though. I remember him from college. He's kind of like a Chuck, but he can dribble. Definitely got the handle. And he could score the ball. Garrison Matthews, they say he could score a bit off the dribble. I don't know about that. No, Pat Connaughton, I'm going to say no. Now, Gary Harris is another interesting guy. I don't know about Gary Harris. He's a wild card. I do think that he'll be available for minimum money. But that's one aspect. So that's the free agent side. Another side is making a trade. Now, salute to my dad, the OG Knicks fan. Not sure if he's in the building. Might be working. Anyway, my dad proposed the Kobe White trade Now, a lot of people was talking about Kobe White, right? Knicks should get Kobe White. I don't know. Like, me personally right now, how I feel, I think that Kobe White is solid. He's 6'5". He could shoot the ball. I mean, he's shooting the hell out the ball for sure. He's what, 39? Oh well, 37. I mean, 37%. That's not shooting the hell out the ball. 37% is not a bad 3-point shoot percentage, but it's not shooting the hell out of the ball. He is a ball handler though. Now, in order to get Kobe White, you're going to have to give up one of your core guys. Because what you could do, I'm going to go back to Chicago. So Kobe's making $12 million. You could trade Mitch and hold on. Let me do it like this. $12 million, right? Let me get the Knicks up here. So the only player you got on your roster right now is Mitchell Robinson. So you could do Kobe White for Mitchell Robinson straight up. Straight up. Mitch, Kobe White, straight up. Will the Bulls take that deal? Let's see who they got at the 5. They still got Vucevic? They got Vucevic at the 5, though. Maybe they move off of Vucevic and go with Mitchell Robinson. I don't know. You could do a Kobe White, Patrick Williams, right? Patrick Williams is a 4. I wouldn't say he's all of that, but he is 6'8", making $18 million flat each and every year on his deal. Let's look at his stats. Can shoot the 3-point shoot shot. He's not accurate. I wouldn't say he's the most accurate 3-point shooter, but 35% from threes, not bad. I'll take that. Right? You could do that. You could do a combination. There's multiple things you can do to trade for Kobe White, but he would be a good ball handler. He would be a good ball handling guard to put with Brunson. Now you can't trap him. My only concern about Kobe White is the defense. I'm not a fan of his defense. I'm really not. I had a list of 2 guards. Hold on, let me see if I could get this. See if I could get this on the screen. I had a list of 2 guards somewhere. All right. Here's what I'm going to do, y'all. This is something I do too. Salute to all my video game people, right? So, like, one thing about the video game, the 2K, is if you play the game, you start learning guys you never heard of before. Like, who the hell is this, right? Now, here are some other guards that we can make a move for. Now, this kid right here, Shaedon Sharpe in Portland, if I'm the Knicks, I would try to see if I could do a deal with Portland because they're a team that don't know what the hell they doing anyway. Right? They don't know what the hell they doing. So you as the Knicks, you come up in there and you say, hey, look, man, we willing to give you, he's making $8 million. So if I'm the Knicks, we'll give you, let's see. Oh, they must got some free agents. Let me see. Jabari Banton, Ashton Higgins. Okay, cool. So look, if I'm the Knicks, right, I'll give you Deuce McBride, right? And see, that's the only problem. Like, the Knicks as a apron team, it's hard to make moves. But you might have to do, look, we'll give you Deuce McBride, PJ Tucker, right? And then you still might have to throw in another player. Maybe you could convince one of these signing trades. You could convince one of these guys to sign and trade. Maybe on Marchon Beecham, maybe you could convince him to go there to fill out the cash money scenario. But if I'm the Knicks, man, I'm looking at one of these young guards that ain't really getting the light. I think Shaedon Sharpe is one, right? He's a guy who I would trade for. You're not going to get Prudzinski. Maybe you could get, I don't like Koulibaly. I was going to say Koulibaly. But Caris LeVert, like I said before, he's a free agent though. Jordan Clarkson, a lot of you guys don't like Jordan Clarkson, but he's somebody that, hey, maybe Utah could come off of. How you like that Grady dude? I'm not going to say his last name, from Toronto. But Gary Trent's here. Trey Mann from Charlotte. Let's pull up Trey Mann. I'm not sure how you guys feel about Trey Mann. But like, there's these little, like, deals that can be made for guard. Like, if I'm the Knicks, man, I'm looking around. Wait, what team was he on? Trey Mann is on Charlotte. And then I would hit up these teams like Portland, Charlotte. They don't know what the hell they doing. Look, man. Give me, oh man, nah, Trey Mann. Ooh, I wonder if they bring him back. I wonder if they're going to bring, I don't know what y'all are going to do. He's a restricted free agent, so Trey Mann might be a little difficult. Because I don't know what they're going to do with him. He is a backup point guard, though. I don't know. Even this guy, DeSumo, hold on, let's go to the Bulls. But I don't think DeSumo is that much of a ball handler, though. But he does play good defense. Yeah, if I'm the Knicks, man, I'm literally looking around, and I'm gonna try to get me a ball handling guard to go with Brunson, because it's two moves the Knicks can make. They can get a ball handling two guard, right, to start, because Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart's not it. They need a ball handling two guard that can take the pressure off of Brunson, so they won't trap him. And if you do trap him, we got another guard out there that's going to eat you up and make plays. Now, my dad loves Kobe White. He thinks he's the perfect guy for the job. He's definitely somebody who I like. I like the kid Shaedon Sharpe too, but that's a pipe dream. It more than likely won't happen. Or you could sign one of those guys, Gary Trent Jr., but they got to do something at the two guard spot. Mikal Bridges, to me, is just not it. Not at the two. He's a three. To me, he and OG Anunoby's a three. That's why I would consider breaking up Wingstop. I'm sorry. I would consider breaking those guys up. So those are some options. I gave you a lot of options. There's free agents. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's guys you could trade for. Teams looking to make moves. You got teams not knowing what the hell they doing. The great Leon Rose, he could take advantage of these things and go get it done. Right? The other thing you need is a forward. You need a power forward, right? A starting power forward. No offense to OG Anunoby. I love OG. OG is phenomenal. You need a forward that's going to get rebounds. So the Knicks got to make a decision, and I think the coaching also will have a lot to do with what they do next. Do you prioritize guard, defense, perimeter, ball handling, playmaking? Or do you want to dominate the paint, right? The way Cleveland does. So I got a deal. I'm going to jump right into it. I got a deal I want to show y'all. This is the best deal I've seen thus far. And no worries, I'll get to your chats in a second, by the way. I see there's some good chats up in there. I'm going to get to that. I just want to get through this flagship. There's one trade, to me, that is the only... Listen to me. Some of you guys may not like it. Some of you guys may like it. But this is the move that I want to do. And I'm going to put this on the screen right now. This is the best deal that I'm going to share that I've seen thus far. Besides, of course, getting Giannis or something crazy like that. So here's a report, right? Not sure how accurate it is, but it's a report. The Grizzlies, from Mikal Bridges to OG Anunoby to Orlando's Franz Wagner, has made several aggressive trade pursuits of their own laden with draft capital in recent years, right? So there's rumors that the Memphis Grizzlies is interested in Bridges and OG. Now, I don't know if this was before the trade, the Desmond Bane trade. Maybe they wanted to move Bane for these guys. I don't know. I don't know what the hell Memphis is doing. I'm going to add Memphis to the list of teams that don't know what the hell they're doing, which is good for us because we need teams that don't know what the hell they're doing. If the Memphis Grizzlies, and listen, remember what my motto is, anyone can go. Not everyone. I'm loyal to this. See that New York? You see that Knicks logo? That's what I'm loyal to. Anybody can go. Anybody. So I got a trade package for them that if they want OG Anunoby's making $39 million, but we all know if you watch the show, he has a 15% trade kicker, right? Which means that his salary gets bumped up 15%, right? If he's moved. So that would bring it up to about 4 point something. So let's just say it's $44 million. So OG Anunoby, he currently makes $44 million. If the Memphis Grizzlies will take OG Anunoby, I got somebody who I want. And I want you guys to tell me if you guys are feeling it, okay? I want you guys to tell me if you guys are feeling this move. So when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, we know that OG makes the $44 million, right? Sorry, it's my alarm. We know that he makes the $44 million. Okay, it won't. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Because I forgot he didn't sign his extension. But I take this kid, Jaren Jackson, because there's some fighting over his extension. They don't want to give him the money, right? But he's only making $23 million because I didn't realize his contract is in descending order. Whoever signed this contract, by the way, brilliant mind. So OG wouldn't be the guy. It wouldn't be OG that would go. It would have to be Mikal because Mikal makes the 20. Well, he makes 24. So Mikal and Jaren Jackson's numbers line up. The only problem is I don't think they will take Mikal Bridges now. I was hoping to unload OG, but hold on, let's see. Let's see something. Let's see something. 1 second. Right? Let's see if I can make sense of this. Let's go backwards. Hold on. Let's go back to Memphis. So we know Jaren Jackson's making $23 million. Mikal's making $44. So we still gotta come up with another $20 million in salary. That's interesting. Let's look at the positions. Centers. They got Zach E. GG Jackson is nice. They got mad point guards though. They got to be making another move. There's no way they're gonna go with all of these point guards and small point guards at that. They could use OG. They need some size out there. They need some more forwards. But the only problem is, unless they're gonna give us Caldwell Pope, I doubt they'll give us Jaren Jackson and Caldwell Pope for OG. That'd be crazy. Would you guys do that? Jaren Jackson and Caldwell Pope for OG Anunoby? How bad do they want OG Anunoby? I don't know. But I don't think they'll do Bridges for OG unless they consider Bridges a 3. Maybe if they consider Bridges a 3, because the Bridges Jaren Jackson trade works out perfectly money-wise. Perfect deal. Because I'm hearing rumors that they don't want to sign Jaren Jackson, right? There's some discrepancy with Jaren Jackson in the deal. They was hoping he didn't make an All-NBA team because then he would be worth $300-something million. I think his max is the same as Mikal, the 159. So I don't know, man. Listen, I'm doing the deal, man. OG Anunoby for Jaren Jackson. And maybe if they don't want Caldwell Pope, they could throw Pope in there, or Bridges for Jaren Jackson. If I'm Leon Rose, that's the deal I'm doing. Why am I doing the deal? Jaren Jackson's a real power forward, and he can stretch the floor. Hold on. Jaren Jackson, let's see what he's shooting. 37% from three. He's shooting better than Kobe White. 48% from the field. All-NBA defensive team. Defensive player of the year. This brother right here, we need to make the move to get him. How many of you guys are feeling the OG for Jaren Jackson trade? I love it. I love it. And he's a 20-point per game scorer. He would be the power forward we need with Towns. Now, he takes all the pressure off of Towns defensively. He can block shots. He can defend on the perimeter. He can defend in the paint. 25 years old. Memphis don't know what the hell they doing. Hey, man, they want OG Anunoby. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, man. OG, Jaren Jackson, or Bridges, Jaren Jackson. It's not the only thing that we could do at the 4. There's a couple of more things at the 4 we could do. Okay, running a little behind on time. It's all good. Maybe the new coach can convince Precious to come back. Precious Achiuwa at the 4. His cap hold is $11 million. I doubt that's what his contract will be. Oh, he signed with Rock Nation Sports too. Yeah, he might be up out of there. He might be up out of there. But if there's not a market for Precious, I think there'll be a market for him. But if there's not a market for Precious, you know what? Actually, hold on. We could actually look at the top power forwards according to hoop height. Let's do that. Let's look at the top power forwards according to hoops height. There is a name too that I think I'm curious to see how you guys feel. And like I said, don't worry about the free agent stuff. I'm gonna do a Knicks guide to the 25 offseason. I'm gonna do that show on Wednesday. We're gonna break all of this complex apron stuff down. So Julius Randle's the number 1 power forward on the market. Salute to Julius Randle, man. Salute to that brother there. He gonna get the bag. This guy here, I think he's restricted though. Bobby Portis is another interesting name. Listen, man. Would you guys consider doing Mitchell Robinson for Portis? I would consider doing that. Let's say he opts in, trade him, get Mitch for Portis. He's another guy that can help Towns. I told y'all, Towns is a 5, but he needs a real power forward next to him, right? OG Anunoby is not it. I love OG Anunoby. He's a 3. He's not a 4. Put a real power forward next to Towns. Somebody that can hold their own. John Collins is an interesting name, but I think that more than likely he'll probably go back to Utah. And when he opts in, you could trade for him. I think he's what, $25 million? So you could do Bridges for John Collins. I'm not sure how many of you guys want to do that. I'm just giving you options. You know, I'm not saying we have to do these deals. Now, this guy, Finley Smith, is an interesting option. He was making $14 million last year. I think the Lakers, well, more than likely he'll pick up this option, right? But then the Lakers could look to trade him. Now, Yabusele. A lot of you guys didn't like the Yabusele. I would get Yabusele. If Precious leaves, I can't trade for Jaren Jackson or a real power forward. I'll go get this kid. Even if you don't start him, I think he's just somebody of value to have. He was doing good work on Philadelphia, right? He was averaging 11 points, 5.6 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, 38% from 3. Hello. Go talk to this kid, man. Right? Because he don't got bird rights with Philly. This is another kid I like, Chris Boucher, but he's not a 4. And he's definitely going to be out of Toronto. I'd be interested to see where he ends up at. Jake LaRavia, outside shooter, off the dribble. I don't know about that one. Larry Nance Jr. is another interesting one. I'm curious to see how much money he'll demand in the open market. I don't think he'll have much of a value. Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince is not a bad option if you can't get nobody. He's a good defender and he can shoot the 3 ball. He was shooting 43% from 3, playing with Giannis. Jalen Warren, he's going to be picked up. Santos, no. Batum is another interesting. He's a veteran. I don't know. He's kind of old. I don't know. Trey Lyles is another interesting one. I think all these guys that I'm naming right now could be picked up. No to the Nets guy. No. Jeff Green, he's too old. Bo. This is what some of you guys was talking about in Discord. I don't care about Bo. Jay Crowder's a negative. Hold on. I got another name for you. He's mentioned other small forwards. Kelly Oubre's an interesting name. I think he's going to get a bag, though. Chris Middleton, if he gets bought out. How you guys feel about Chris Middleton? This is my guy right here. Bojan Bogdanovic. I'm getting Bojan. Bring him back. Hello. If this brother is available, I don't give a damn that he missed the entire season, man. I don't give a damn that he's 36 years old. I go get this man. He's a bona fide bucket, and he's not a bad defender. Got good size. This is a guy you need in your rotation. I'd go get him. This is who I want if we can't do a trade or something like that. I like Bojan Bogdanovic. This is my guy who I want from free agency. Low money, low maintenance kind of signing. So Yabusele, right? Bojan Bogdanovic. Al Horford is somebody who I would consider too. We talked about Al Horford before. But these are some of my recommendations. We need a real power forward. These are the 3 moves. Get a real power forward. Get a real ball-handling guard. Now, if you trade for a ball-handling guard, you don't really need to trade for a power forward. You could sign one of the guys I mentioned, right? If you go get it, and vice versa. If you somehow get Jaren Jackson, if the Knicks could get Jaren Jackson with Towns, oh my God, it'll be crazy. I love OG, but if I could get Jaren Jackson, I'm going to go get Jaren Jackson. And then, of course, we need a coach that could bring the most out of these guys. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. I know I kind of went on for a long time. It's a lot to this, but let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Let's see. Denny Avdiva. How are we going to get Denny? Isn't Denny on the contract? Bojan's too injury prone. He's old and injury prone, but he's coming off the bench. He ain't starting. Yeah, he was averaging 20 points per game. Yo, Bojan, let me tell you something. Bogey, man. Nobody's talking about him. That's a sleeper pick right there. I'm telling Bojan is a sleeper pick. Telling you guys. If JJJ is a power forward, then Cat will play the 5. Hell yeah, buzzer beater. Cat is a 5. Okay, hold on, guys. Newsflash. Karl Anthony Towns is a 5. You know what? I'll spend time on that. I'm going to move. Though. Hold on. Because I got a couple of more takes and I'll be out of here. Karl Anthony Towns. I just want to do a Karl Anthony Towns crash course because for some reason, you guys are under the impression, some of you guys are under the impression that Karl Anthony Towns is a power forward. Okay? We got Karl Anthony Towns' career. Okay? So he only spent 2 years as a power forward in the league. I don't care about college and high school. I'm talking about in the league. He only spent 2 years at power forward. Those 2 years of him at power forward are the worst 2 years of his career. Oh, well, besides his rookie year, okay? Because he's a rookie. Give him a pass. But besides that, honestly, his rookie year, is better than 2023 because he only played 29 games in 2023. So to be fair and honest, 2023 is probably his worst year of his career. But 2024 was a solid year. He did make the All-Star team, right? But if I'm going to keep it funky with you, those 2 years are amongst the worst years of his career. Every other year he played center, he had the best years of his career. At the center spot, this is only 35 games, though, before he had that injury. 26 and 10, best year of his career stat-wise, even though it was only 30-something games. I'm just looking at the numbers. You're just a box-score warrior. That would stand out to you. But this, to me, was his best year of his career before this year. This was in 2019. He was averaging 24 points, 12.4 rebounds, 1.6 blocks at the 5. And he was an all-star. Okay? All of his all-stars, besides, well, I'm not going to say all of them. I'm going to say that his better years were at the 5. His best year at the power forward spot, he averaged 21 and 8. His best year at the 5, which to me was just this year, he averaged 24 and 13. So, yeah, Towns is a 5. I don't know why you guys think Towns is a power forward. He's not a power forward. Where you get that from? Sharp is a freak athlete. Facts. Sharp is nice. Underutilized because they got Anthony Simons. They had all of these 2 guards there and point guards. It just took away. And then they got the young boy Scoot Henderson. He needs to get out of that situation. Buzzer Beater said, how much is the salary cap? I had it up there. So the salary cap doesn't even matter no more. It's really the aprons is what everybody cares about. But the cap maximum is $154 million, if you must know. Everybody, for the most part, most teams are over the cap, right? The key now is not necessarily the cap room, it's going over these aprons. So we got $8 million in space before we get to the second apron. Buzzer Beater and everybody else, make sure you guys are here Wednesday. I'm going to go over all of that, okay? So that's how much the salary cap if you want to know. You want Denny Adniva in Portland? Let's just look him up really quick. And I'm going to read a couple more comments. I'm going to get back to the show. The scheduled program. Okay, let's back out of here. Got a lot of windows open. I'm going to have to close these windows soon. So let's go to Portland. And Portland, Adniva is making $14 million. So you would probably have to trade Josh Hart or Mitch to get him. Let's look at his stats. He was averaging 16. Is he better than OG Anunoby? I don't know. He got good size, though. I think he's 6'9". I don't know if I'm feeling the Adniva trade. I'm going to keep it real. Banton would be good, but he can't shoot threes. Facts. AP, you funny. He just called Buzzer Beater for an interview. That's funny. Achua, Campaign, and maybe Shaman are out of here. Well, they could keep Shaman if they want to. I don't think Shaman would get more than an exception. Either he's a power forward or a rim protecting 5. That's why they moved Gobert to the 5. No, he's not a power forward, and moving him to the 4 was a failure, if you ask me. All right, let me move forward, y'all. Let me move forward. Salute to the chats. I see you guys in the chat. What left I got? What do I have left? I did the flagship topic. Okay, let's get to comment of the week and all of that, and we wrap up. Now, my smoke of the week, I'm not really feeling the smoke of the week, so I might skip smoke of the week this week. I know a lot of you guys look forward to smoke of the week. But I'm going to get the comment of the week. And Crime's Dad, I hope you are here, because this week's comment of the week is Crim's Dad, man. Salute to Crim's Dad. Where you at, Crim's Dad? I know you was in here earlier. Crim's Dad, man, you got the comment of the week, man. This is what Crim's Dad comment was. He said, Karan, always achieves great objective content, man. Yo, salute to you, Crims Dad. I appreciate that, man. Yo, you know what, man? You got the comment of the week. You gave me the salute that I needed, right? That I need as inspiration to continue building the channel. I do appreciate the love, man, Crims Dad, man. You didn't have to say that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I always achieve great objective content, man. That's what I work and strive towards, right? But Crims Dad, you did get the comment of the week, but I do have another comment of the week if you don't mind. So you got to share the comment of the week. So the other comment of the week, right, Crims Dad, you can't say I didn't give it to you, Crims Dad. You did get comment of the week. Salute to you, my brother. But this is the other comment of the week, okay? Now, comment of the week is just stuff that I find and I take screenshots of if I remember. Sometimes I don't remember to take screenshots. So this is one screenshot I managed to take, thank goodness, because I'm pretty sure there were other comments that I could have chose, but I just chose this one because this was the only one I seen there. But anyway, so he says, salute to ungifted basketball. I don't know. That's his name. Salute to you, brother. He said, Dolan fires Tibbs because he wants a big name. First off, let's stop right there. Dolan did not fire Tibbs. Leon Rose fired Tibbs. Where people get mixed up is that in the meeting, it was Leon Rose who spearheaded the meeting, right? Meaning that he was the one that was taking questions from the players while Leon Rose was kind of just sitting there and being more passive. So for the record, Leon Rose, he fired Tibbs, not Dolan. But, you know, because you never acquiesce to a faulty premise. So that's why I always stop you when you get something wrong. Even on the call-up show, you call up and you say something just wrong factually, we got to stop it there because everything else you say is going to be built on that foundation. But let's continue. Rose knows these teams won't give up their coaches, okay? So he's asking, Rose knows these teams won't give up their coaches. So he's asking just to basically get proof of denial to show Dolan like, hey, look, we can't get that guy, but we can get Johnny Bryant. So let me just stop you there. While Johnny Bryant was rumored to be a coach on the list, he has not been formally contacted for no interview. So until that happens, Johnny Bryant, you can't say his name is a shoo-in for anything, right? At this point, we don't know which direction these guys going to go in. For all you know, they might bring back Larry Brown. Just joking, right? Okay, cool. So we don't know which direction they're going. Gil's Arena pointed that out that, hey, we're doing this coaching search so we can get Rick Brunson, which makes sense. But I don't think they're playing games. I don't think Leon Rose is a game player. So I really do think, honestly, and I believe that he's honestly looking for the guy he feels is best for the job. And me personally, I don't think Johnny Bryant is that guy. I would avoid a first-time coach. But that's just me. Which, in my opinion, I think he has wanted Bryant this whole time. But with Dolan as the owner, you have to show him concrete that it is impossible. First of all, let me just comment on that as well. Dolan, right, he's not involved with basketball decisions, right? So we're holding Dolan to a standard that he hasn't actually shown that he's violated for the last 10 years. Ever since he signed Phil Jackson, he's been handoff on the means, on the moves, right? Only thing that happens is that they are making a major move. You call him up, let him know, hey, we're looking to go in this direction, right? And Dolan, he laid out his role on the Roommates podcast. I do recommend you guys go see that podcast. And honestly, the way this summer might go, there might not be no more Roommates podcast. But anyway, nonetheless, on that podcast, he said that, hey, he allows Dolan to run the show. He allows Rose to run the show. He's just there as an overseer going over plans. Okay, for the record. Dude wants Isaiah Thomas, Phil Jackson. He wants names. Was Coach Tibbs a name? I don't know if Coach Tibbs was a name. So if you're saying Dolan wants a name, I don't know how true that is. Before that, we had Dave Fizdale. Was he a name? I mean, how many coaches did we have names? And if you want, we could pull it up just to have fun. I stay in research mode, right? We could pull it up to have fun, so that way we not sounding like we babbling and not knowing what's going on, and we just talking out of our place where the sun don't shine. Look, you had Dave Fizdale. Was he a name? Because when they hired Fizdale, Phil Jackson was out of there. So Phil Jackson had nothing to do with Fizdale. Why didn't he get the name then? If it's just all about the names. What about Jeff Hornacek? Was that a name? Derek Fisher, was that a name? Mike Wilson, was he a name? D'Antoni, if you want to argue, okay, he might have been a name, but was he a name? Then you had Isaiah Thomas and Brown. But this is before Leon Rose, and this is before they made the change to let the GM run the show. So, yeah, man, I'm just going to have to disagree with that comment of the week. I'm just going to have to disagree with it, man. Salute to you on Gifted Basketball, right? Hopefully, you know, you listen to this and you see that I responded to what you had to say. The smoke of the week, honestly, man, I'm not really feeling the smoke of the week. I was going to talk about Austin Rivers, but I don't really care. Now I'm going to keep it real. I don't care, and we kind of pressed for time. So I'm just going to skip smoke of the week. Don't worry, next week, smoke of the week will return. I'm going to skip it, man. I could have also talked about Charles Barkley and his comment, but I don't really care to really address that. I'm going to jump into word on the street, but before I jump into word on the street, I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you guys about the channel, man. Hold on. Wait, why is it saying my membership is unavailable? Hold on. What's happening to my membership? Okay, cool. About to say, I clicked on the join button. It said it's not available. I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't getting no emails from YouTube. Anyway, look, so I'm going to share with you guys what happens if you join the channel, all right? Cool. So if you've been a subscriber, been rocking me for a while, you should consider joining the channel. We got two packages. We got the starter Knicks fan, and we got the hardcore Knicks fan, right? I'm only going to talk about the starter Knicks fan because it's a great place to start. Now, the one thing you get access to when you join the plan is you get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, okay? Now, when you get in the Discord server, this is an exclusive server that I just have for members. I don't want to open, access Discord server. No offense to the people that run those, salute to them. But I like to have it close-knit, good community of people, no trolling, everybody serious basketball talk. We talk the Knicks 24/7, all the time, every time. We also talk other sports as well. We don't only just talk about the Knicks. And it's a great way to extend the conversation with me. When you join the Discord server, I'm in there. I'm always in there looking at what people saying. And so that's one thing you get, access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, which you hear me mention quite frequently because a lot of people put good stuff up there and then I share it on the show. That's not all you get when you're doing the channel, right? So, of course, you get the cool little badges, right? Like salute to FS Wisdom. I see him. Salute to HRM the Great, right? Knicks will be champs 25, 26, right? Some of the members that you see here with the icon, right? So you get that icon. Makes it easy for me to find you, right? Whether it's in the live chat or whether it's a chat just in the comment section of videos or surveys, right? No problem. Be able to find you easy. Of course, I do members only live chats. Now, the show that's going to be on Wednesday will be a members only live chat. It's going to be open to everyone. Everyone can watch, but that will be a members only live chat because I'm going to go in. I'm going to give you an off-season guide to know what's going on because a lot of people don't understand the way the aprons work. So I'm going to give you a guide to understand the Knicks off-season, okay? So I do a couple of those videos, right? Sometimes I'll do a members only video, like I'm getting ready to do members only content. One piece of content I'm gonna do is when I'm outside hooping, right? Got the lavalier mics. I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be talking. Y'all gonna see me play hoops. You hear me talk about it. Y'all gonna see me play, right? Once I get, back, I'm still getting in shape, okay? But I'm gonna be back outside very soon. So that's access to content. And then whatever spontaneous lives I do decide to do, members only. I have a lot of members only content on this channel, okay? Another thing I have is the Unfiltered Thought series. So that account is with your photos and status updates. But I do a content series. It's called Unfiltered Thought, where I usually record at 3 in the morning with me just going off the top, not the top of the head, but just me picking out topics that I normally don't discuss on YouTube, interesting topics that, have value. Like I talked about when they try to tell you that the only reason why we beat Boston is because of Tatum. I did an Unfiltered Thought debunking that premise, right? I did a Unfiltered Thought talking about the 0-10 narrative, debunking that as well. So the Unfiltered Thought series is a great series. You'll get access to those, to watch those videos once you join the channel, right? Of course, members always get shouted out. Salute to all the members like I always do. Mixtape Madness Discord server, everybody in the house. Salute to y'all. And of course, members get a discount on the merch that I showed you earlier, right? Bodega Cat shirt, right? Captain 11. I got on the hoodie right now, right? The last days for hoodies, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I got this in the t-shirt version as well, okay? So these are the things that you get when you join the channel. So if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Now, let me talk about some of these polls and surveys, right? By the way, happy Father's Day too. I forgot to shout out the fathers for Father's Day. I had a pretty good Father's Day. Went out to eat, got a chance to hang out with the family. Salute to everybody. You know, hopefully you guys had a Father's Day. And believe it or not, dads were taken care of yesterday. I seen it. I mean, the restaurant was packed. It was a wait to get to. I'm like, damn, it's a wait. Like I was not expecting that to get some food yesterday. You know, so salute to all the mothers and the kids that took care of the dads yesterday. We do appreciate it, right? Even if we don't ask for much, but we do appreciate the love. Okay. Now, true or false? If Coach Tibbs was the reason why, this was a controversial question. True or false? If Coach Tibbs was the reason the Knicks couldn't win a championship this postseason, then the Knicks should win it all next season. I'm going to say true. 61% say true. Of the 223 votes, 39% say false. Listen, man, if that's my reasoning why we didn't win, if I'm going to say Coach Tibbs is the reason, then we should win. I don't understand why that's bad logic. I'm just saying. What are your thoughts on the Knicks speaking with other teams' coaches to replace Coach Thibodeau? I'm going to say smoke and mirrors. So out of 293 votes, 29% say they don't like it. 33% say smoke and mirrors. 35% say I like it. It's a wise move. Okay, and that's the breakdown for that. In terms of speaking to other teams' coaches, I think it's smoke and mirrors. I think that they have, and by the way, to laugh at myself, I put smoking mirrors, right? I wrote this at 3 a.m, no lies. And I meant to put smoke and mirrors, but I put smoking mirrors. It is what it is. But the reason why I think it's smoke and mirrors is because I think that they was just like really seeing how far they can go and really seeing if teams would consider letting their coaches go. Not that they actually thought they could get Jason Kidd and all these guys. It's just, I think it was just a barometer test to see exactly where they're going to go. I don't think they really are trying to get the opposing team's coaches. That's just how I see it. Could be wrong. I don't know. Did I drop this earlier today? Stay or go. Should the Knicks re-sign Precious Achiuwa? Not resign Precious Achiuwa. Notice is the hyphenated dash. Resign Precious Achiuwa. Okay, cool. So I'm going to say yes. I like Precious. 59% say of the 128 votes, they say yes. 41% say no. A lot of you guys don't like Precious Achiuwa. The reason why I like Precious Achiuwa is because he's the only true power forward on the roster. Not Towns, not OG. He's the only true power forward. So I wouldn't let him go. Well, of course, he's a free agent. He could do whatever he wants. But I would look to keep him instead of letting him go. That's all for word on the street, man. Let's see. FS Wisdom says, terrible comment by Ungifted. Hey, man. Listen, I got to help people. Yo, FS Wisdom, man. Salute to you, FS. Because, yo, FS, you always keep me on point. FS Wisdom's going to let me know if something's a little off. He's going to be like, wait a minute. What about this? Like, he was challenging my Jokic video, because I did a video titled but Jokic does it too. And he was like, wait a minute, but this. I love FS Wisdom. Salute to you, man. You always keep me on my toes. But yeah, he was not on point. And listen, man, you got to be on point in these comments because they're going to come for your head. FS Wisdom says, his stats don't really show how good he really is. He has to share the ball a lot more in Portland. That's true. That's true. And they got a whole bunch of guards that are just like ball dominant scoring guards. So I wasn't like, when I look at the points, right? It's not about the points. It's more so we got a whole bunch of scorers on this team, and we got like 4 guys that average 16 or more. So do we really need another guy that's gonna give me 6? That's the only reason. That's what my logic was. FS Wisdom. I'm not sure if you caught that. Crimes Dad, did you see? You got the comment of the week, Crims Dad. You got the comment of the week. AP says, I thought it seriously would be Johnny Bryant. It could be. It's just that he didn't get the interview first. They're interviewing Brown and Taylor Jenkins first. So nothing has been solid and concrete with Johnny Bryant. Just these, people speculating. Yeah, Crims Dad, hold on. Because Crims Dad is he's a special guest on the show. I'm going to show you, man. Hold on. Let me go back into research mode. This is for you, Crims Dad. Look at that. Comment of the week. This is on the blog. Crims Dad, go to thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. Offseason, episode 2. You will see your comment is there, man. Look at that. Karan always achieves great objective content with the eye emojis. I'm rocking with it. It's a profound comment. It might be one of the best comments we've ever seen. Salute to you, man. By the way, salute to Tendril in the building. I see you, man. I see you. Let's see. AP gave Charles Barkley the thumbs down. I was gonna go in on Charles Barkley, but like when I do the smoke of the week, man, I like for it to be like, I don't like subtle smoke. Like, to me, Austin Rivers, that was like come on, that was nothing. Salute to Wayne. He says a truer campaign. I read that. He said Kolick, Dadier, Huck Porty might get rotation minutes because the front office needs output from the young talent. We'll see, man. I think there's a trade coming, not a super major trade, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mikal Bridges or Josh Hart is traded, especially if Mikal doesn't sign the extension. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of those 2 guys are traded. Not saying they will be, not saying I want them to be, just saying it's a possibility. AP says, with karate buzzer beater on your side, you can't lose. That's a fact. Buzzer beater said, Karate on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate the Knicks' chances of getting Kid? I'm going to say 0. 0, buzzer beater. I'm not sure if you saw it earlier. I went through it. Charles Barkley is this dumb. I've never seen a guy that just hate so much. Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment. Like, so what it is this, right? Charles Barkley, he's a former player. I'm not going to say he don't know nothing about basketball. My knock on Barkley is he don't watch the games. He don't watch the game. He only watch the games that's on TNT. So how he going to tell you about the Detroit Pistons? He ain't watched them all season. How he going to tell you about Indiana when he might have saw 2 or 3 Indiana games that came on TV? In the playoffs, they sound way more knowledgeable because there's only 2 games to watch. But during the regular season, oh my God, some of the worst takes that you could possibly see. Oh yeah, okay, buzzer beater, definitely hit that rewind button. I definitely covered it. Covered a lot on this pod. I put the whole Jason Kidd narrative to bed. He is not coming, for sure. But that's all I got for you guys today, man. I do appreciate all you guys for rocking with me. Sorry for my tardiness. A lot going on, but I had to make sure I got the podcast done. I want to give a big time salute to Crims Dad, comment of the week, my man Tendril, right? AP, one of the first channel mods. Buzzer beater, salute the buzzer beater, right? Salute to Crims Dad again if I didn't say it. Salute to HRM the Great, channel member, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. I do appreciate you, good brother. Great to see you. Kamara is untouchable. I agree with that. I'm mad I missed that comment. Kamara definitely is untouchable. Of course, Knicks will be champs 26. I'm still going to say 25 and 26 because it's the 25 and 26 season. Knicks will be champs. You didn't have to change your name. Who else I miss? Make sure I get everybody, man. Salute to everybody. Salute to Jabroni. Are you talking about Lonzo Ball? You got to stop. Salute to everybody that joined, man. I do appreciate you guys. That's all I got. Oh, J-Tap, of course. How could I forget J-Tap? He was in here early. Man, but that's all I got for you guys today, man. And until next time, you guys know what it is. No matter what, let's go Knicks. And I hope we get Jaren Jackson.